Hope you can see my screen. So what did we discuss yesterday? Saidip is here. Yeah. Hi Saidip. What did we discuss yesterday? Sairam.
We have implemented tax codes.
Okay, we have created tax codes, configured them. Then we have configured sales tax groups and item sales tax groups. Later we have applied the tax and saw how the tax is being calculated on vendor invoice journal, right? So I'll create one more vendor invoice journal this time. See, I'm using this, I mean, pending vendor invoice, no, not this one. Actually, I want to give a default tax code tax group to the vendor. So yesterday, I think I gave it to one of the vendor, Mahindra, right? I'm not sure which vendor we gave. Sahara, I think. For this vendor, did we give this default tax group? We can check it here. So in invoice and delivery, yeah, we have this IGST 5%. See, for this vendor, I gave a default tax group. So whenever I was trying to create any document for this vendor, may it be a purchase order or normal invoice journal or a payment transaction, this particular tax code will be picked up. So for payments, usually only for prepayments you have, in case if you want to calculate taxes on prepayments. Normally on POs or any invoices that you post to the vendor, automatically that tax group that you have assigned to the vendor will be picked up. Okay, suppose if you're creating an invoice journal for the vendor, I think I can do it from here. Yep, invoice, vendor invoice journal, this one. Suppose here an invoice journal is created. Just go to one, select the vendor invoice journal, go to lines. So I can select the vendor account here, this vendor Sahara. So as soon as I select the vendor, so I'll see this sales tax group will appear here. See here, sales tax group IGST 5% is automatically taken into the journal. So you have given the default tax group to the vendor. You can change it if you want to. So I'll just post it for second invoice. Invoice number SHINV 24. I'll just give it. You can give a credit amount to the vendor like 2000. Okay. And offset account. See here, you will select an offset account like a particular expense. Expense in the sense, let's assume the travel expense account. Travel expense account you select here. Tax will be calculated only when you select the item sales tax group. But you can also give specific item sales tax group as a default to a particular main account also. On travel expenses, mostly you will have certain tax, right? So it will be 5% only, let's assume, or any percent, or you can create a separate item sales tax group for this particular account. So you can create item sales tax group as service expense, and in that item sales tax group, you can give that 5% codes if you want to. And by default, you can give that to a main account. So I'll show you how you can give a default tax code to a main account, tax group to a main account. So this is the account, right? I'll just edit this one. I can give that in the legal entity overrides menu here in the main account. So this is the main account. Here I have the option. Select this MRF. So since this chart of accounts is linked only to MRF, I can select it. So here I have the option of sales tax. Select sales tax. Here I can give sales tax group and item sales tax group default. So I will select item sales tax group as all. You can give us default sales tax direction. Sales tax direction will usually be sales tax receivable, right, on the expense account normally. So you can give this one purchase. Purchase means so you normally use this expense account in purchase invoices only, right, on the vendor side. So you can give sales tax direction as purchase. If it is an exempt, you can give exempt one. If you have to give any specific sales tax code, you can give it. If not required actually. Automatically the item sales tax group is given here, right? So it will be considered into the journal line. So in this manner, either for expense accounts or for revenue accounts, you can give specific item sales tax groups or default item sales tax groups so that whenever those accounts are picked, automatically this default sales tax groups will be picked. Okay, it is overrideable all the time. You can override it on the invoice level or the journal line level all the time. Okay, I can click on OK enough. Enough. I'll just save it. So I can just give this default sales tax code to this. I'll go back. I'll remove this account. Okay, refresh this journal. I'll again give this offset account. Travel expenses, right here. So I was expecting this item sales tax group here, but it's not bringing in. Here you can see automatical item sales tax group is picked up. So in this manner, you can give the item sales tax group to expenses or revenues, so that whenever you pick whenever you are creating any vendor invoice for such expense, so it will take automatically the default sales tax group on the vendor and the default sales tax group on the expense, and the common codes in this will be matched and expense tax will be calculated. So here in this common code of IGST 5% will be there, right? So accordingly sales tax will be calculated. You can see it here. Here you can see IGST 5% on 2000 base, 5% is calculated, which is 100. So tax direction is sales tax receivable. If you feel like 100 is way more and it should be less, you can also change it actually. You can change you can change it to 50. Means it will not consider 100, it will consider 50 as the sales tax on this invoice. So you manually also you can change it at one point if you feel so. And if you feel that calculation is correct, you can give it as 100 itself directly. Leave it as 100. So 100 will be calculated. Here also you can change it. So same menu actually will also appear here. Here also you can change it. If you select 50 here, 50 will be posted as sales tax, not 100. Although 100 is calculated, but you set to system that actual sales tax is 50 only, so 50 will be considered. This is one way how you can assign default tax group to default item sales tax group to main accounts. You can also give default sales tax groups as well to main accounts, but not required. Mostly they will give item sales tax groups. Okay, the name itself indicates that these are item sales tax groups, which means that for items also you can give default item sales tax groups. So let's see how we can give that. So normally we can find items in this module, right? Product information management. So in this I have products and product masters. I can go for direct released products. Here it is. Come on, this one, released products. In the released products, I have those products that are effective for my legal entity MRF, in which I can find them. So in the same way that you are giving sales tax groups to vendors and customers, you can also give default item sales tax groups to items or the products or product masters. Suppose here for this cycle, you can open the item, click on it, go to the menu, edit this, just expand all. Okay, Control F, tax. So here you see for purchases, what is the item sales tax group? This one. Okay. For administration, if you have any other item sales tax group, you can give, or you have only one, you can give the same. Again, so this is for purchase only. Yeah, that's all. So this is on sales actually. On purchase side, what is the item sales tax group? On sales side, what is the item sales tax group? Usually, if you are operating the purchase and sales in the same country, the tax code will be the same. Okay, if you buy and sell the goods, the tax code will be the same. So that's how you can give default item sales tax groups to products as well. So whenever you are buying a product, this product from that particular vendor, a vendor to whom with the default sales tax group is assigned. So automatically that sales tax group, this item sales tax group will be matched in the purchase order when you select this item while buying it from that particular vendor. So both of them will be matched and the sales tax group and item sales tax group will be defaulted onto the purchase order and tax will be calculated accordingly. So we will see that concept now, how this will be defaulted. So this one is clear, right? Invoice journal, how the tax is being calculated on invoice journals for all of you.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just post this one and let's see how it will get posted. So configurations are very important, as well as operations are also important. How we are implying the configurations, how the configurations are working. Understanding that is also very important. Without understanding the end result, there is no point of configuring, right? You expect some result and you will configure them. So you have to test them. Is it working according to your expectation or not? See here, it is posted 2000. If I go to voucher, I can see the voucher. Travel expenses is debited for 2000. Tax receivable account is debited for 1000. Accounts payable account is credited for 2100, which means that while we have to pay to the vendor, we have to pay total amount of 2100, out of which 200 is for the original expense and 100 is the tax that you're paying. That's up. So if this is clear, I'll just create one PO, purchase order, and I'll show you how it will work on the purchase order. So suppose if I go to all vendors, so not all purchase orders, takes a while to load. Let's wait. Yeah, here you can see the purchase orders. I'll just create a new purchase order quickly. Let's select that vendor, Sahara. Okay. I'll select site and warehouse, 11 and 1. And order type purchase order. I'll click on OK. See, for Sahara, we have this group, right? IGST 5% as a default sales tax group. So that will be considered. You can change it if you want to while purchase order is created. So now I'll select this item cycle. See here in the purchase order line, I'll select cycle. Cycle to quantity. I'll just give it here of 1000 each, total of 2000. So I'll just save it. Now if I scroll it a little down here to the setup, so I can see here sales tax group is taken as IGST 5%. Why the item sales tax group is not picked up? I was looking for it. Didn't we save this one? Okay, it's not saved actually. Well, I saved it and I went back. Again, I'll delete this line and create one more PO line. Okay. So that cycle where I gave this is not saved actually. Add line. Now I'll select the same cycle item here. So see, as soon as I selected cycle, I can see item sales tax group appearing here. Sales tax group is taken from the vendor. Item sales tax group is taken from the product automatically. I did not assign it manually. I can change this quantity to 2 here. Sorry, not 5, just 2. Save. Now you can check the sales tax calculated at different levels. Suppose if I have another line here, I'll add one more line. Here I'll select one more product. So I'll select product as iPhone mini. Okay. iPhone mini, and I'll select this product dimensions here. Configuration and size, color, sorry. Come on, it's taking time. So I'll select this one. 128 GB black. I'll give some price here as something like $12,000. Okay. So here, if I go to setup, I can see sales tax group, but I don't see item sales tax group because for this product, we did not give any default item sales tax group. So that's why it doesn't show up here. Here, if you feel like 18% tax has to be calculated since it's an electronic good. Okay, so it's an electronic good, right? If you feel like 18% has to be calculated, you can change both the sales tax group and item sales tax group. You can change this to IGST 18% and you can select all here. So that common code between these two will be 18%, right? So 18% tax will be calculated on this particular line and 5% tax will be calculated on this product cycle for the same vendor, but tax is different or the levying of tax is different. If you want to see how much tax is calculated for this line, you can click the line, go to financials. See, I have the option of sales tax here. Click on sales tax. It will show you the calculated tax at the line level for each line, how much tax is being calculated. So here, as you see, 2000, right? Origin amount, two products, 2 into 1000, 2000. On 2000, IGST 5% is calculated. 5%, which is 100. 100 is the sales tax amount. Sales tax receivables in the direction of tax. You can see for the other line as well. Go to financials, go to sales tax. Here you can say IGST 18%. So this is for 12,000, one cell phone for 12,000, on which 18% is 2,160 is the tax amount calculated. This is sales tax receivable again. So the total tax on the purchase order is 2,160 plus 100, 2,260. So that we can see in the header level. So somewhere in the purchase order, not in the purchase. Here I have the option of sales tax. This is header level. It will show the consolidated tax of all the lines in the PO. Click on sales tax. Here I can see two taxes, 5% plus 18%. Total tax is 2,260. Okay. So that's how tax is calculated on purchase orders. Normally, whatever is there on the purchase order will be carried on to purchase order invoice as well. When you post the invoice, when you generate the invoice before posting, you can check the tax calculated. And during the invoice level also, you can change the tax if you want to. If you want to keep another code rather than 18%, if you want only 12%, you can change the group in the invoice level to 12%. But that should not be against the matching principles again. So totals matching, in totals matching, it will match the sales tax amounts also, right? So if that crosses the variance again, there will be a invoice validation failure. So there you have that flexibility of changing this tax groups all the time. So you can just confirm the PO, then receive it and post the invoice. I'll show you that step as well. We'll complete it then. So all the tax that is posted on the purchases is, or in the invoice, vendor invoice journals is a sales tax receivable, or it is posted under the direction sales tax receivable. So all that you post on sales will be under sales tax payable. So I'll show you next in free text invoice, how tax can be posted on free text invoice. Or on general, I'll show you in general ledger. It's taking time. Okay, it's confirmed. I'll just post the product receipt quickly. PR, just give a number. PRN message 25 something. received. Now I can post the invoice. Invoice. Generate the invoice. So you can give invoice number. Okay, and VSH25 something. Then you just want to see the invoice date, you can give something past date. If you want to see the tax calculated on each line, you will see the same details again for the cycle. If you go down under setup in the line details, you can see same sales tax group and item sales tax group here. It will automatically default from the purchase order. If you want to change anything, you can change it. Suppose if you feel like on cycles, IGST 5% is not calculated. If there is an exemption of tax, suppose vendor is not taking any tax on the cycle, since cycle is a product which normally doesn't affect the environment. So there is an exemption tax, let's assume. So customer does not take any tax and he exempted. So you can remove that tax or give this exemption code here. So if you give that exemption code, if you see here, go to financials and go for sales tax. You don't see tax calculated. See here, percentage is 0. So sales tax direction is tax-free purchase it is showing. So no tax is calculated, 0. So for this one, I will have, so for this one we have right 18% tax. So for this one, we have this tax calculated. So on invoice, you can make changes if you want to. Here I see 2160. So that 100 tax on cycles is eliminated, but tax on the cell phone is still there. I can click on update match status. If at all the invoice totals matching is enabled, I'll see it is failed, but invoice totals matching, I have disabled it. So I see it is passed here. I can post this one. So before posting, I can also show you the totals. The total calculated sales tax is 2160. I see 150 here. I think it is the automatic auto charges or automatic charges that are linked. So I think that charges are calculated. So that's how the taxes are calculated. Now I can post this invoice. So I'll show you the printout of the invoice as well once posted. So the invoice is posted. You can see the invoice here under invoice journals. You can also see the voucher. You will have this, go to voucher. So as you can see here, when you eliminate this all penny difference and all, you see this tax receivable is calculated and 2160 is posted into tax receivable. Okay, this one. And you can also see the posted sales tax on this particular invoice voucher. You can clearly see it is IGST 18% is posted, which is 2160, and exempt tax is posted, which is tax free, and you have zero tax calculated. Two of them showing up separately. Here in the posted sales tax. In the voucher, I have this option to check the how much tax is posted in this voucher. Then I can also print this invoice. So you have this option, print preview, original preview. It takes a while to load and open the invoice. It's loading. Come on. Yeah, I can see here. So in this, in the bottom, you can see this total amount of invoice. So subtotal is 14,000. Charges is 150. Sales tax calculated is 2,160. And you can see the total amount here on this PO. So normally POs you won't send it to customers, right? But on customer invoices you have it in more detail. I'll show you that. Okay, POs invoices normally will be sent by customers directly. Then, so this is how I can post or give the tax groups and item sales tax groups on invoices, purchase orders and all, how tax will be calculated on. So if do you have any confusion in this or is it clear for all of you? Sairam, Saideep, Seshu, Sidhu.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's see. Okay. Let's see how we can imply taxes on the customer invoices. So normally we can create a free text invoice, or I'll just create a invoice. Here in the journal, I'll directly create one normal journal. Here also I can create customer invoice. Go to new, select journal. What happened? Oh, since we have designated this journal for write-offs, it is not available for manual transactions. It is saying I'll remove it here. Accounts receivable parameters. Collections. Write-off. I'll just remove this journal from here as a default journal. So I'll go back and refresh this. Remove this journal from here. Now we'll select the journal. So I saved it right. Close it. I'll select journal. It will allow me. Go to lines. So I can select a customer here instead of ledger. I can select any customer. I have customers, right? So customer Kia Motors, I'll select. So we are going to invoice the customer, which means we are debiting the customer for $1,000. Let's hope. Okay, and as a offset account, I can give a revenue account. So I'll give some 4 series account here, sales revenue. Okay, customer account is selected. Here revenue account is selected as offset, $1,000 invoice. So it's a kind of invoice only, right? When you do free text invoice, you will find the same entry. So it's a kind of invoice. You can also give invoice number here if you want to. Here you have this field invoice number. Let me give that customer invoice to one just for sake example I'm giving it. Okay, now you can give here sales tax group and item sales tax group in the journal line also. So you can select sales tax group, how much tax is being calculated on it. I'll just say this one, CGST 12%, CSGST 12%, and I'll give item sales tax group as all. Now if I save it, I can see the calculated tax here as $120. You can see upon 100, 12% is calculated as tax, and I can see is 120. And on sales tax, I can see here sales tax payable is the direction. Since it's a customer invoice, I can see sales tax payable as the direction of the tax. So $120 of tax. You can also change it if you want to here. Okay. Now I can post this one. Post it. I can see the voucher here. Customer account or accounts receivable account is debited with $1,120, which means customer have to pay us $1,120. So out of which 1,000 is our revenue, 60 is the tax or CGST and SGST. 6%, 6%, 60 plus 60, $120 is the tax. There is a penny difference of 1 cent in the reporting currency, so it automatically took this penny difference in reporting and accounting. I mean, this account that we gave in the accounts for automatic transactions for balancing the voucher. Okay, you can also see the posted sales tax here. For this voucher, you can see CGST 6%, CGST 6%, sales tax payable is the direction. And you can see this 1,000 origin amount and calculated tax 60 and total tax calculated as 120 here. So that's all. Now you can also see the same in the customer page also. Accounts receivable, all customers. You can see that transaction in the customer page. It's loading. Yeah, here. For Kia Motors, right? We have posted that. So I'll go to customer. I'll go to transactions. So I can see this one. You can see the invoice number also here. Customer invoice 21. So you can also post customer invoices through general ledger normally. Not only from free text invoice, anytime you can also post it through general ledger like this by giving invoice number and details. Now this shows as an open invoice. You can receive a customer payment against this invoice and settle this invoice later. So in this, as you know, there is sales tax calculated of 120. So that's of taxing. We can apply the sales tax on free text invoices also. Here all, if I'm going to all free text invoices, create one, create a new free text invoice, select a customer here. I'll select Hyundai Motors here. Okay. Then you can select a main account, right? In the free text invoice line, some revenue account you can select something like subscription revenue, and you can give the quantity and unit price. So one quantity I'll give 2000 as the unit price. So for that, here I can use sales tax group and item sales tax group. Suppose if you have given default sales tax group to the customer and the default item sales tax to the main account, that would have been automatically appeared here. But now we did not give them, right? So we can manually select one. So I can select this one, CGST and all here. So 5% tax 2.5 SGST, 2.5 CGST. So upon this, I can see the sales tax here, calculated sales tax in the header level. So it is on 2000, there is 2.5 and 2.5, 50 and 50, total of 100. You can see here. Click on OK. Now I can post this. So posting, yes, I'll post this invoice. So it is posted. If you want to see the print, you can see here. View original document. Takes a while to load, on which tax will be represented on the invoice. So let's see. Normally we send this kind of invoices printed or soft copies to the customers, right? So they can identify what is the base amount, what is the tax calculated and all. So in this way, let's see how this invoice show up. So you can see here. $2,000 and sales tax calculated is 100. And you can see 2000 total sales tax calculated, and you can see total amount of 2100. So that's how it is. Then what else? So we have posted up to now we have posted few transactions in the month of November. We have done some purchases as well as sales. So where can I check all these posted sales tax amounts? So there are a lot of sales taxes posted on purchases and on sales as well. So where can I check this? I can check it here in the tax module. Here I have an inquiry. In the inquiries and reports, I have an inquiry called as posted sales tax. In the sales tax module, tax, posted sales tax here. If you click on posted sales tax, you can see all the sales tax transactions that you have posted until now. See, these are the few transactions. You can see the direction also. Sales tax payable, receivable. So you can see, you can identify with the voucher numbers. It is a free text invoice. You can see the source also. It's a free text invoice. These two taxes are purchase order taxes. Say normal voucher means it can be journal as you see here. Or it can be a vendor invoice journal. So you can see the voucher, or by identifying the voucher, you can say it is what it is. And you can see the tax codes applied and the base amount selected, as well as the tax calculated and the actual sales tax. So this is the calculated sales tax. This is the actual sales tax. I told you, right? We can change that sales tax also to a different amount rather than the calculated amount. So if you have changed it, you can see the changed amounts here. Normally we did not change anything, right? So I don't see any changes here. So this is how tax will be calculated. If you want to export or if you want to track it for a specific day, you can filter it with a day, or for a date range, you can give from one date to another date. In this particular date range, what is the tax posted until? If you want to track it by tax code, you can select by tax code. For the tax code number, like IGST 5%, how much I have posted, I just can just give it here. IGST, or else I'll just say how much IGST I have posted until. So I say IGST 5% I have posted 2, and for IGST 18% I have posted 1. You can use any filters here. If you want to see only the taxes on sales, so you can see sales tax payable, you can give direction of tax. So this one you can copy and give it here. So only the taxes on sales will be showed up, how much taxes are calculated on all. You have various different inquiries for the same, can use them. So this is one of the easiest inquiry. And whenever if you want to go to the directly to that voucher of the invoice, you can just click on it. It will straight away take you to that voucher here, the invoice voucher, the one that we posted earlier, 2000 plus 100 tax, 2100 debited to customer. So that's how this inquiry helps. It will consolidate all the posted sales tax here in this place. Okay. Then what could be next? We have other sales tax reports also. Sales tax payment by code. Since we not made any payments, there won't be any. Sales tax posted by code. Normally we can see it on the code itself. So sales tax general reconciliation we have. So it will match the tax posted in the sales tax main module to the general ledger accounts that we have linked in the ledger posting group in the sales tax module. Sales tax specification by ledger transaction. You can give sales tax by customer, sales tax by vendor. You can select all the time. So first, if I go to sales tax by vendor, I can see how much sales tax I have paid to that specific vendor. So you can run it for one specific vendor if you want to, or you can run it for all the vendors at a time on screen. It's taking time to load. As you can see here, yeah. So for vendor one, so we have made this much of tax or paid this much of tax or calculated this much of tax, as I can say. 180 180 is the total tax for vendor one. For vendor two, there are three. So out of which the total tax on the vendor is 2,307, and the grand total is for two vendors. The taxes that we have paid until or recorded under sales tax receivable is 2,482.62. If you run it, if you select in the criteria or filter with only one customer, it will show the report only for one customer. Since I gave none there, means it will run the report for all the customers, sorry, vendors. So this is why this is a sales tax report specific to vendors, how much tax we paid to vendors. You can also run the same for uh, specific to customer, sales tax by customer. You can also run sales tax ledger reconciliation. So this should be the one where it normally reconciles the transactions from here to there. So main account, I can select one main account. Payable account, I'll select sales tax payable account. Sorry, it should be tax payable. This one. Include details. Okay. From date to from November 1st to 30, I'll select. Here also I'll select the same main account. I'll run it on the screen. So it generally identifies if there are any differences between the taxes posted to the tax module to the general ledger, or if there is any link missing or any other differences identified, it will show up. So it shows there is no difference here. See, for all the transactions that we have posted for that sales tax payable account, on the purchases side, sorry, on the sales side, we don't have any differences. So all of them are same. This is the sales tax balance. This is the ledger balance posted to that particular main account. This account, tax payable account. Absolutely no differences. That's all. Then can run the sales tax codes normally. Will just show the tax posted to each code, I think. Let's see. Can filter it by a code also. I did not filter it anyway. So here it is. Sales tax code CGST 6%. So the calculation process also it is showing what is the marginal base, how the calculation is doing on whole amount. So percentage of net amount. So it's not showing anything actually. It's just showing the details of the tax codes. That's all. What is the tax code? How the tax code calculation is being done. Then it's showing this minimum limit and limits if there are any limits, and it is showing the percentage of tax here, 6% value. That limits that it is considering. And the currency as well as calculated tax, packing duty if applied, and all the other details that we have given in the sales tax code are printed here. So for each tax code, it printed the sales tax master details or code master details. That's all. Then see, now I'll show you something very important. Follow it. So at the end of the period, so we have selected settlement periods, right? So settlement periods we have created sales tax settlement periods like here, that every month we are going to represent our sales taxes to the authority. Okay. Every month we are going to represent sales taxes to the authority. So you can select one month and you can also see here these enquiries, how much tax is posted to that month. Suppose if I select June month, if I go for posted sales tax, I see only for October month actually. I don't see for June month. So here this is for all. But for this month, if you want to see here, you can see, I think, sales tax per interval. So for this particular month, you see there is nothing. But for suppose if I go for this month, November month, sales tax per interval. So I see this is the tax that is calculated and posted for November month. Okay. I can make settlement of sales tax to the tax authority. I'll just run the settlement here in the tax module so that the delta amount will be calculated. See here I have sales tax payable and sales tax receivable, both of them posted for a particular period. Okay. So if I run the sales tax settlement, what happens is the amount will be differentiated. I mean, how much sales tax payable I have, how much sales tax receivable I have, and what has to be done next. Suppose I have sales tax payable means how much sales tax that I have collected from the customers. Customers I have collected total of 20,000 for November month. Let's assume total sales tax calculated from customers is 20,000. So that will be a sales tax payable to the authority. I have to pay it to the authority. How much amount I have paid to the how I have paid to the vendors until now is 15,000. Okay. I have paid to the vendors until now on my purchases, and 20,000 I collected from customers on my sales. Now, what is the difference here?
5,000.
5,000 excess of sales tax payable is there, right?
Yes.
So 5,000 excess of sales tax payable is there, which means we have to pay tax to the authority. 5,000 excess tax we have to pay to the authority. That's what, right? We have collected more taxes. We have to pay it to the authority, how much ever more we have collected.
Yes.
So that 5,000 we normally pay to the authority. So when we settle these two for that particular period, the difference amount will be created as an invoice for the vendor. Okay, this 5,000 will be created as invoice for vendor, which we have to pay and settle. So that vendor will become zero again, which means we have paid the sales tax for that particular period. That's what it indicates. Okay, let's assume sales tax payable is less. Okay, means I have collected less amount of 10,000 only from the customers, but I have paid more tax to the vendors. 15,000 I paid to the vendors. So how now? What will be happening now? Anyone? Any guess what would happen now in this situation?
5,000 should be receivable from the tax authorities.
Yes, 5,000 will be the receivable amount from the tax authority, which means we have paid excess taxes, so we will file a reimbursement to the tax authority to receive that 5,000 from the tax authority. Right? Tax returns, what we say, we'll file a return for the reimbursement of the excess amount of tax you have paid for that settlement period. Normally, tax authority will not pay you. Sometimes they'll pay you, sometimes they don't pay you. They will, uh, what would say, in the next period they will combine it, or they will just apportion it to the next period or take it forward to the next period. In next period, there might be chances that you might have more taxes that are payable. Oh, sorry, the taxes that are payable. So it will uh, apportion it that particular pending amount with them to the next period if they want, or if they want to reimburse, they will reimburse also. That's depends on the authority and the country and their rules and regulations. Okay, in our situation also for the month of November, let's see there are taxes posted. So there are sales tax payables as well as sales tax receivables. So there are different amounts. So I see that sales tax receivable is having more amount compared to sales tax payable. Okay, so there might be a negative invoice created to the vendor or to the authority when we settle this, or vendor have to, or the authority have to pay us return us the sales tax excess that we paid. So how to settle this for that settlement period, I'll show you now. Okay, how to settle the sales taxes. So this is done specifically on for a settlement period. Mostly they will do it monthly, quarterly, or yearly. It's up to their requirement. How they want to do it, they'll do it according to their requirement. Okay, so you have this option, sales tax payments here. I think this should be the one, sales tax payment. If you click on sales tax payment, so not this one, sorry guys. So this normally shows the settled one. So for settling it here, I have declaration. So in the tax module, I have declaration. Under declaration, I have sales tax. In the declaration, I have settle and post sales tax or report sales tax for the settlement period. I think let me see this one, report sales tax for settlement period. Yeah, this should be the one. Or settle and post sales tax. This is also the same actually. Let's go with this one, settle and post sales tax. So this is just a report, I think, report sales tax for the period. So let me select this from date. I'll select from November 1st. It will just generate a report, I think. Yeah, it's just generating a report. But when I do it here, the settle and post sales tax, it will normally settle them. So the settlement period that what you want to select is GST settlement periods, right? These are the settlement periods we have created. From date to date, I'll select 1st of November to 30th of November is automatically selected here because in the settlement period, you have given a period, right? From 1st of November to 30th of November. So automatically it took that period. You can change this if you want to, but not necessary. You can see here original or latest corrections. Normally, when you are running it for the first time, you will select original because that will be the original tax that is calculated for the period. Okay, suppose at one point of time after declaring taxes or running this settlement, if there are any adjustment that was posted to the November period once again after settlement, let's assume that there is another purchase order invoice that is posted and that also has to be settled, right? So for that, again, we can run settle and post sales tax, which for that we can use latest corrections. If we are rerunning it after making some corrections in the invoices or making any reversals or any adjustments or posting new invoices for the same period of November, if you want to run the settlement once again, you can use this latest corrections one so that the remaining correction amounts that are posted recently will be adjusted to the settlement. Okay, I'll select the original one here. So for the month of November, I'm trying to settle the tax. So click on OK. It will show me how much is there, how much excess is there and all. So here it is. I'll just run it on the screen so that it will also show the actual net amount out of the payables and receivables, how much has to be received or paid. It will show here. As you can see here, total amount is this one, sales tax amount, out of which tax payable, which you have to pay is in negative number and tax receivable, which you have to receive is in positive numbers. After consolidating all of them, the grand total is in positive, which means you have to receive this 2267.62 from the vendor authority itself. So from the GST authority, you have to receive this much amount of as a reimbursement since you have paid a lot on your purchases rather than compare it to the sales amount, sales tax that you have received. Your paid amount is more so that I can see it's in positive number. Normally, if the paid amount is less and received amount is more, which is the usual situation in business, so then you will have negative number here, which you have to pay to the vendor. Okay. So you don't have anything non-deductible. So nothing you withheld or deducted from the payment that you have to be done or the receipt that you have to be received. Now you can export this report if you want to present it to any stakeholders. If not, you can close this one. So it would have created an invoice automatically. So we'll see that how it will look like. So before that, I can see this here, sales tax payments here. In the inquiries and reports, I have the sales tax payments. Within that, it creates a voucher automatically. Here, it creates this voucher from date 1st of November to 30th of November. So sales tax payment version is original. So in this, I can see the voucher. So this is the voucher. Tax payable is selected. Tax receivable is also selected. Okay, both of them are consolidated, and as you can see, accounts payable account here 2007.6 and all. See, it is according to the code. So total tax payable 100 plus 120. Total tax receivable 2307 plus 180. So this tax payable is showing up here. Where is this? In the accounts payable, 120 is reversed. 1 second. So let me export this one for better thing. Export to Excel so that we can analyze it. Oof, error. Unable to connect to the server, it is saying. Let me reopen it once. Voucher. Select journal entry, download. Come on, so okay, seems like an issue actually. That's okay, let's leave it. But as you can see here, this accounts payable account is showing up 3 different times because it is having some dimension value combinations. In the tax payables, you have some dimension value combination. Without any dimension, there is a tax payable amount of 100. Including dimension, there is a tax payable amount of 120, including this dimension. Same side in the tax receivable, I have this account, and tax receivable, I have this. Without dimension, I have this account. So this is how they are being represented. Normally, tax receivable was earlier in positive, right? It is recorded as a positive amount on the asset side. Now it is being reversed here or credited here, as you can see clearly. So tax receivable amount is entirely credited and tax payable account is entirely debited. Both of them is done. Now accounts payable account accordingly is debited with 2000. This accounts payable with combination of this dimension value is debited here, and this is and this one, these two. Accounts payable account with combination dimension value and tax receivable account with combination dimension value. This is one part of the voucher. Okay. And this one, tax payable account with 101 and accounts payable account with 101, 120 and 120, debit and credit. So this is one part of the voucher. Next, this one, tax payable without dimension value, tax receivable without dimension value. 120 minus 180 is 80, right? So 80 is here, accounts payable 2000 without dimension value. So according to the dimension values it have created. separately. Just in the voucher, it is apportioned separately. You see this sales tax receivable and tax payable are reversed, and the net amount is here. You can see the net amount is being debited and credited accounts payable account normally. Eventually at the end you have one amount only in the accounts payable. I mean the amount that has to be paid on the invoice. So let's see that. So we have a tax vendor, right, to the authority. We have linked a vendor to the authority. We'll go to accounts payable to all vendors. So we have this GST authority linked to the tax authority vendor, right? We'll go to vendor transactions. See here, there is this transaction 2267.62 positive amount. Okay, which means we have to receive this amount from the customer, sorry, vendor actually, 2272.62 as a reimbursement from the tax vendor. So it's not a payment invoice. This is a kind of reimbursement that we have to claim from the vendor, tax vendor. So that's off. So you can again see the voucher if you want to. So normally if the vendor reimburses the amount, you will create a payment transaction in the accounts payable itself. You crediting the vendor means you are receiving the money right from the vendor. You will credit the vendor and receive the money. Or if it is a sales tax payable excess, so we have to pay means we will generate a check in the accounts payable module paying the vendor, and we'll settle that payment transaction to the invoice that is created here. Okay, so that's all guys. This is how the tax settlement look like. So automatically every invoice is created for the vendor that you link it to the authority. So later you can settle that invoice. If it is a normal invoice, payment invoice, you can pay and settle. If it is a positive invoice, kind of credit note, so you will claim the reimbursement or receive the payment from the vendor and settle it with the invoice. Clear for all of you, this one?
Yes.